Hello everyone, welcome back to Stock Market Meridian. Today is 14th July 2026 and you're watching today's pre-market report. Let's begin our video with global markets. Starting with the US markets, all the major indices closed in the strong negative zone. Moving to the European markets, most of the major indices managed to close in neutral to positive zone, showing comparatively better resilience despite the weakness in the US markets. Now looking at the Asian markets, Japan index closed nearly 2% lower, and today they have opened with another 0.5% gap down. Chinese indices also ended the yesterday's session in the negative zone. Meanwhile, South Korea's market witnessed another sharp sell-off. The benchmark index crashed nearly 9% yesterday and has opened today around similar level, indicating continued weakness in the region. We will discuss about the Gift Nifty at the end of this today's video. Now let's move to the commodities section. US WTI crude oil is currently trading around $78 to $80 per barrel, while Brent crude oil is, after surging nearly 9% yesterday, is now trading around $83 to $85 per barrel. This sharp rise in crude oil prices is currently the biggest negative factor for today's market sentiment, because after a month, crude oil prices again crossed the $85 per barrel level. In the Indian commodities market, crude oil futures surged nearly 8% yesterday, whereas natural gas futures declined by around 0.7%. In the precious metal segment, Indian gold futures closed with decline of nearly 2.2%, while international gold futures are currently trading in the neutral to slightly positive zone. Similarly, Indian silver futures also declined around 2.2%, whereas international silver futures are trading nearly 0.5% lower. Now let's check ADR's data. Yesterday, ADR showed a mixed trend. On the negative side, HDFC Bank and Dr. Reddy's Labs ADRs closed in weak. On the positive side, Infosys, Reliance Industries, Wipro and ICICI Bank ADRs ended the session with strong gains. Now let's move to the FIIs and DIIs data. Yesterday, FIIs once again turned net sellers, selling equities worth 3,062 crore rupees. On the other hand, DIIs remained buyers with net purchases of 2,171 crore rupees. Actually, after yesterday's sharp recovery from the huge gap down opening, I expected FIIs to continue buying. However, that was not the case, and they turned to the selling side once again. Now let's check the economic calendar. Yesterday, India's CPI inflation data for June month came in slightly higher than both the previous month and market expectation, which is negative sign for the inflation perspective. However, India's trade balance improved compared to the previous reading, indicating better export-import performance. Today, the market will closely watch India's WTI inflation data and the US CPI inflation numbers. These are extremely important economic indicators and could significantly influence both global and Indian markets. Tomorrow, investors should also keep an eye on China's GDP data, Bank of Canada's interest rate decision, and US crude oil inventory report. So before moving ahead, a quick reminder. I upload pre-market report every morning before market opens and also post-market report every evening after market close. So if you don't want to miss any important market updates, make sure you stay connected with Stock Market Meridian and subscribe to our channel. Now let's move to the geopolitical updates. Donald Trump has once again made headlines with a major announcement. He has declared that the United States will now act as the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. And according to the Trump, the United States has protected the strategic waterway for many years without charging anything. But now, he says, every cargo ship passing through the Strait of Hormuz will have to pay a 20% transit fee for the security. He also announced that the US will restart a naval blockade around Iranian ports located near the Strait of Hormuz. With these developments, the temporary ceasefire agreement signed between the United States and the Iran last month now appears to be effectively over. Trump has also informed the US Senate that fresh military operations has begun against Iran, and reports suggest that several Iranian port cities have already been targeted with heavy missile attacks. Following these announcements, global crude oil prices surged by more than 9% yesterday, while major US indices ended sharply lower. And also many international experts, along with the United Nations International Maritime Organization, believe that charging mandatory tolls on international waterways violates the international law. Interestingly, in the past, Donald Trump himself had strongly opposed any country charging fee on international sea routes and had repeatedly criticized Iran over similar issues. Now he himself proposing exactly the same thing for the Strait of Hormuz. This sudden policy reversal has created uncertainty across global financial markets. Ultimately, whenever geopolitical tensions increase, it is retail investors and ordinary people who suffer the most. And Iran has also rejected the US claims stating that the Strait of Hormuz remain under Iran's control. And Iranian official foreign minister have even commented that a 20% transit fee is far higher than anything Iran has ever proposed in this past. So what's your thoughts on this entire situation? Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. Now let's move to the company's specific updates. First update is Container Corporation India Q1 business update. Container Corporation of India reported a strong provisional business update for the June quarter. The company's total throughput increased 8.89% year-on-year. The export and import segment delivered an even stronger performance, growing 9.78% year-on-year. Meanwhile, the domestic logistic businesses also remained healthy, registered 6.17% year-on-year growth. Nearly 9% volume growth indicates that both domestic and international cargo movement remain strong, providing excellent revenue visibility for coming quarters. Next update is Bharat Electronic Limited has secured fresh defense order worth 572 crore rupees. These contracts include communication equipments, avionics systems, encryptors, tank subsystems, electronic voting machines, EVMs, batteries, industrial components, system upgrades, and several things. This continues BEL's strong order inflow momentum and strengthens its further revenue pipeline. Next update is Aditya Birla Renewable, a subsidiary of Grasim Industries, has signed a definitive agreement to acquire 100% of Solar Energy Power Private Limited from Shell. This transaction values Sprng Energy at an enterprise value of 17,200 crore rupees, making it one of the largest renewable energy acquisition in India. This acquisition includes a 5 gigawatt renewable energy portfolio consisting of 3.3 gigawatt operational projects and 1.7 gigawatt under construction. The deal will be funded through a combination of debt and equity with support from Grasim Industries and Global Infrastructure Partners, which is backed by BlackRock. The transaction is expected to close before 31st December 2026. After this acquisition, the combined renewable portfolio will expand from 4.4 gigawatt to an impressive 9.3 gigawatt, putting the Aditya Birla Group firmly on track toward its long-term target of more than 20 gigawatt of renewable capacity. Next, NHPC has officially resumed commercial operations at Unit 1 and Unit 2 of its Teesta-V hydroelectric power stations in Sikkim. Each unit has capacity of 170 megawatt, bringing a total of 340 megawatts back into commercial generation. The restart became effective and the company also confirmed that work is progressing on Unit 3 and further update will be shared after completion. Next update is Happiest Minds has officially clarified that there is no disclosed corporate event related to rumors regarding a possible acquisition of ITC Infotech. The company stated that while it continuously evaluating strategic opportunities, there is currently nothing that required disclosure under SEBI regulations. Despite this clarification, yesterday the stock rallied nearly 7 to 8% intraday and finally closed around 5.5% higher due to market speculations. Next, Emcure Pharmaceuticals is acquiring the remaining 12.05% minority stake in Genova Biopharmaceuticals, making it a wholly owned subsidiary. The company aims to strengthen its biologics and biosimilars business through this move. Management has also confirmed that this acquisition will not materially impact the company's consolidated financial position, debt reduction plans, capital expenditure, or R&D investments. Now let's check quarterly results data. HCLTech reported another strong quarterly performance. Revenue from operations stood at 34,579 crore rupees, growing 13.9% year-on-year and 1.8% quarter-on-quarter. Net profit also increased to 4,626 crore rupees, registering 20% annual growth and 3% sequential quarter-on-quarter growth. The company reported an EBITDA of 7,231 crore rupees, while maintaining a healthy EBITDA margin of 20.9%. And to reward shareholders, HCLTech has announced an interim dividend of 12 rupees per share. Overall, the company continues to deliver healthy revenue growth beyond the market expectations, improving profitability and stable operating margins. Next, ICICI Prudential AMC Q1 results. ICICI Prudential AMC has also delivered an excellent quarter. Revenue increased to 1745 crore rupees. This is up 18.1% year-on-year and 20.2% quarter-on-quarter. Net profit also surged to 964 crore rupees, growing nearly 23% annually and 25% sequential quarter-on-quarter. The company achieved an impressive net profit margin of 61.6% and the EBITDA stood at 1289 crore rupees, while the EBITDA margin expanding to an outstanding 82.4%. Overall, ICICI Prudential AMC has started the new financial year on a very strong note, with robust revenue growth, rising profitability, and continuous margin expansion. Now let's check about Gift Nifty data. Yesterday, Gift Nifty closed in 24,070 level and today opened in gap down at 24,050 level, indicating strongly a gap down start to our Indian markets. So that's all for today's pre-market report. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Stock Market Meridian. I will see you again this evening with today's post-market report. Until then, thanks for watching. Signing off. Bye bye. Jai Hind.